¿por qué tan agüitado?
¿Por qué agüitado? No, estoy cansado. No, no, no. Ya es martes. Muy bien. Pues vamos a comenzar. ¿Alguien tiene presentación para hoy?
No.
Muy bien. Entonces vamos con creo que no está Catherine, pero ya había propuesto un tema. ¿Se acuerdan cuál era?
El aborto.
Ay,
Ok,
no, no,
ok.
no.
¿Por qué no?
Más temas polémicos, ¿no?
¿Cómo no? De la polémica se hace
Ya
la
llegó
conversación.
hablando de la reina de Roma y que te asoma.
Yo solo estaba diciendo que tú habías propuesto un tema, ¿cuál era? Pero ya que llegaste. Okay, let's start. Catherine, you propose the topic. Do you want to start or do you want to give the word to another of your classmates? It's up to you.
Okay, I will. I will start. Well,
Okay,
the topic
just one thing.
I
Sorry, Catherine. Just a comment for all of you. I want to hear everyone talk today, okay? Everyone talk. This is the last class we are going to have in a while. I'll let you know why. But I want to hear everyone talking today. So let's keep the interventions shorter, so anybody has a chance to speak. Okay. So sorry, Catherine, go ahead. Creo que está cerrado tu micrófono.
I'm sorry. I choose this topic because it has a lot of ways to talk about it, right? So first of all, it's not against everybody. I just gonna give my opinion. I'm gonna start telling that I myself consider myself a feminist, but I'm gonna tell you what is the definition of feminist. Is the social, economic, and equality of the sexes. So nobody is more than me, and I know more than nobody. Let's start there. I get very angry when I hear a lot of women said that abortion is only a thing for a woman, that a man shouldn't say anything. Because for start, you get pregnant because a man and a woman have a relationship, period. So it's very unfair to me say that the woman is the only one who have the opinion, because if the woman said, let's put an example, the woman said, I want the kid, but the man wasn't, right? Don't want the kid. At the end of the day, his opinion doesn't matter. He will have to support his baby with child support and everything, right? If he's a decent guy, right? But they has no choice. And if it's the other way around, he want the baby, but the mother doesn't, the mother will kill the baby, and he has no opinion about it. So I think that's very unfair. My opinion at all is that I do not approval as I don't think it should be legal, because it's just a death, period. No matter how uh, disastrous is the example or the fact that somebody raped somebody, is a minor, has some disability, whatever it is, a crime doesn't justify another crime, and those babies has the right to live. I heard a lot of women said it's just a fetus, it's just a bunch of cells. No, it's a human being. When I want to know if somebody knows when the life of a human being begins, if it's not from conception. So I really want to hear the guy's opinion, because I think it's a very sensitive topic for them, and most of women get criticized then, like you have opinion about it. So that's like uh, my opinion about it.
Go ahead. Who wants to answer this?
Okay, I have an opinion, but this is a very strong part of my life for some, but I am a little bit cold and cheerful at the same time. I have three stories about that. When I was around 20 years old, I get married. I have a beautiful wife who was 22 years and she became pregnant. One night she asked me if I can borrow my golf when she was 8 months of pregnant. She was involved in a brutal car crash that causes serious injuries in my wife, and I received a police call in the early morning for informing me about the incident. I rushed to the hospital, and while I was there, the medics or doctors informed me that my wife injuries were very severe. They explained me that since she was pregnant, I had to decide who was to save. If I choose my unborn child or my wife, I decide save my unborn child, but at the end of the night, both die. I had to carry on, and it's hard to believe for me that when it has been 25 years since that happened. Okay, in another occasion, when I was around 30, 32, I had a very unstable girlfriend who who I know want to longer be with her. However, I found that she was pregnant and she blackmailed me with my son, threatened me, threatened me to abort our child if I didn't back with her. At the end, I told her I would take care of my child, but I don't take care of she. But she attempted suicide by taking pills and ended the life of my child for second time in my life with a spontaneous abort. My true history is shorter. When I was a child, my father, who was gynecologist, made the decision to terminate my mother pregnancy because it's a very high risk to her life. That resulted in the loss of my younger brother. So, in the end, for me, abortion is a personal matter that depends on the context, and I'm neither favor or against it.
Very good. Jesus.
Jesus?
Jesus.
Sorry. Uh, I think uh, if the woman tried to interrupt their pregnancy, mm, I have a point of view like I'm in the middle right now, because I'm agree if the pregnancy is from a rape or from no consensual uh, relation, but I think we need to start with a sex education, because if you don't wanna take a baby, or you don't wanna be pregnant, you need to use condoms or on another. Uh, I don't know how to say in English is anticonceptivos, teacher.
Contraceptives.
Okay, so right now normally here in Mexico you can find in some places like IMSS or uh, some clinics you can take condoms or some birth control, but you need to start first with by the sex education, because I think right now some men's and some women's have a wrong idea about the abortion. So it's a little bit hard. The topic is so hard, because all the people say, oh yeah, the woman can do with their body what they want to do, but if you want to do with your body some sexual experience, you need to take cares about the experience. You don't go to take all the meds you wanted in the bed without a preservatives or without a birth control. Because if you don't want a baby, you need to take birth controls, and you need to take and use preservatives. So that's my point of view, and that's it. Thanks.
Pablo.
Buenas tardes, compañeros. Um, it's difficult this discussion or topic, but I think I in favor the life. It's difficult for the girls, but the um, ¿cómo se dice circunstancias, prof?
Circumstances.
Of the circumstance for of difference, but violation, um, descuido, ¿cómo puedo decir descuido?
You could say mistake, just by mistake.
Or mistake the action with uh, the pregnant este, ay, no, ¿cómo no planeado,
Unplanned.
don't plan. In this circumstance, exists a one life, a new life. In this case of violation, is possibly the abort for the extremely aggressive circumstance. Don't plan.
Okay,
Uh,
very good.
Psychical uh, difficult person, but for in this don't plan an error de ah, pareja, ¿cómo se diría tu pareja? Cuando son pareja,
Partner.
partners,
¿No sería couple cuando es de amor?
No significa que sea de amor, pero sí puede ser couple, partner, cualquiera de las dos, sí.
in this partner, an error is not good. In my case, don't no no. I think no the abort is no viable,
Unviable.
unviable.
Muy
I
bien.
think
Ok, very good. Jesús, ¿volviste a levantar la mano? Se quedó
No,
arriba.
se quedó.
Aldo, adelante. Métele velocidad. Hay muchos que están esperando hablar.
Sí, hola, ¿cómo están? I think that one of the things that I think that we need to think about it's think about the solution, not about the problem, because sometimes we talk about this and we make look like a bad person to all the women who decide to get an abortion. But I think that it's something that we need to think about, like make a plan, like try to teach the people how to be first fathers, because I think all the problems comes from the family, and sometimes it's not just the women, because sometimes there's a bad man who rap them, and these men cause a problems on these women. Uh, but I think that we could try to create a good family, and that it helps to prevent all these abortion, like be example for all these women. That's it. Thank you.
Un detalle que los puse en el chat. Woman es mujer. Women, mujeres. Womans,
Okay.
no existe.
Women's. Okay.
Women. Sin eso.
Yeah. Okay.
Muy
Thank you.
bien. ¿Quién sigue? Ana Gabriela. Adelante.
Excuse me, did you say Gabriela?
Ana Gabriela Maldonado, sí.
Okay, yes, this is me. Well, so first of all, I don't think abortion should be an option in any of the circumstances. But talking about this topic, I think that being in a relationship and getting the news that the woman is pregnant, um, both the man and woman can check out the possibilities that they have to to how do you say criar?
Rates.
Okay, so thank you. The man and the woman can like check out the possibilities that they have to raise and maintain a child. But if abortion is an option for the couple, I think that the final decision should be made by the woman, because it's our body, uh, the one that is being um, um, how do you say, sacrificado hasta cierto punto.
Sacrificed.
Okay, so our body is like the one that is being sacrificed. So I think that the man can uh, think or give a woman some suggestions and everything, but I think that the final decision should be made by the woman. Uh, yes, I think that would be my comment.
Very good. Thank you. Fabiola.
Yes, I'm here. I am in favor of abortion because, well, for the simple fact that I don't like the children suffer, and a child is a life of project, a project life, and that must be carried in the most careful and informed way possible. If a person is thinking about abortion, is because he thinking that he don't want carry out that project, because he forces so that after the consequences are paid by a human being who doesn't have the fault of nothing. And on the other hand, I am agree with a male abortion because it's not fair to me to force a man to be father when he wants when um, yes, to be father, to pay ¿cómo dices manutención?
Child support.
¿Cómo, perdón?
Child support.
Ajá. Child support for 25 years to play a role that he simply doesn't want, no? I think there is an information and the ideal is uh, avoid unwanted pregnancy. Uh, but bueno, we are women and we have the characteristic of making mistakes and the right to correct our mistakes. We don't want to affect a fetus, but we don't affect the entire life a human. Uh, I don't who can develop traumas, problems forever by growing up with the wrong persons. I think.
Very good. Trauma. Cuando quieres decir trauma, en inglés es trauma. Traumas con el alma. Daniel.
Thanks. I consider that there is at least three possible scenarios,
Scenarios.
scenarios. When we can consider ¿cómo era aborto? Se me fue.
Abortion.
An abortion. Yeah, the first is that the we did listen and history about a medical emergency. So I think that in that situation is a need, es una necesidad.
Necessity.
Then is a necessity. Then is an option. Another scenario is when there is a rape. Uh, I think that the life is very important, and as humanity, we should value it, the human life, as very important. But in that case, when there is a rape, maybe the woman have the right to think about the option. Uh, yeah, and maybe in that case, we can respect her choice. But the third scenario is by the sexual promiscuity, and that is the most common.
Common.
At the actuality, when you see at the numbers, um, the most of the abortions are because there is just the satisfaction of the sexual desire, and the people don't think about consequences. In that case, I think that isn't an really option, or there is no justification for that um, of a moral point of view. But at the least, we should consider as the former opinion. Maybe it's an option in very countries or very situations where there is a lot of poor childs carrying or living a life of suffering. At the end, the way as humanity we value the life, and we think about all that we allow in this aspect is reflect of how we as humanity are developing our capacity of razonar, ¿cómo se dice?
To reason.
To reason. And this is, for at least for me, is little disappointing to be how at this point is an option that a lot of persons, a lot of women, and a lot of men accept just for selfishness. because there is a lot of people that just don't want to be responsible for their own choices, and then they take this way. So at the conclusion, I think that there is no justification. At least it's a medical emergency. In the case of a rape, maybe can be an option. And when it's for the sexual promiscuity, and is, ¿cómo se puede decir? Condenable, o que no puede ser aprobado, justificado, ¿cómo se diría?
Forbidden sería, es que condenable lo puedes decir como damnable, pero o condemnable. Creo que condemnable sería el mejor, aunque es un tema más jurídico, pero sí.
No, okay. Well, this is all, and thanks for listening.
Ok, hasta Erika, ahorita sigue Diana y luego Erika y luego vamos a cambiar un poco la dinámica. Adelante.
Okay, teacher. My point of view of this topic is that I respect the life, but I think that the woman who was raped is not going to love the baby because I think that she remembered this horrible moment. Um, but I suppose that not all women can feel the same. I think that another um, women will love the baby with all your life of their life, but I depend of them and they decide if abort or not. But I think that in this case, the abort should be accepted.
Very good, thank you. Erika?
Hello, good night. Well, I'm not agree with abortion. I'm studying psychologist and I have been understanding that the woman who has an abortion has a different problem, a different issues or consequence. I think could be another possibility like that. For example, given an adoption the baby because many women can't can have children and they can make a family happy. That's why I think it's not a good possibility to do like that an abortion because maybe um, maybe you can give the opportunity for the baby to be alive and also for the woman it's a bad consequence. That's my opinion.
Very good. 1 second. 1 second. Rolando, wait for the next round. We are going to do a little bit of changes here because what you say is almost as important as how you say it. And most of you gave very good opinions, but you are circling around. You are repeating some information. So that's not precisely useful when you try to deliver a powerful message. I'm going to change this a little bit. I'm going to use chronometer. You are going to have 1 minute to each intervention. So you have to order your ideas when you are speaking. Now, I'm going to change a little bit the topic of this. I think that no one agrees, or maybe, I don't know, we're going to see that abortion is bad when women are victims of rape or there is a medical condition like you mentioned. I think that we're talking about more about mistakes or not using proper contraception. Okay, some of you, I'm going to ignite this topic a little bit. Some of you said that yeah, there are some other options like giving adoption to a baby, but are you aware of numbers For every kid that is given into state care to a specialized institution to take care for him until he or she gets adopted, 85% of kids stay in these institutions until they are 18, and then they are sent to the streets. And that's the reality in Latin America, we like it or not. We are talking about Latin America because that's our reality. Unless some of you are living in the US or Europe, that's a different world. I am aware of this. But 85% of kids given to adoption are never adopted until they are 18, and they have a 65% probability of becoming inmates in prisons. So that's very bad number, only in my opinion. The thing here that you should consider is I'm going to ignite this. If you don't have the means to support a child and facing reality that institutions like hospices are not capable of taking care of them, you should abort the kid. If you don't have the means to support them, abortion is a solution. Okay, that I'm doing this only to ignite the topic and make everyone talk. Who is going to start? Rolando, you raise your hand. Go ahead. 1 minute.
Okay, is it the same topic about abortion? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't agree with this. Let's see, deathly technique or option. Yes. There is no reason to abort, in my personal opinion. Children dying from hunger or abandoned children, it's not an excuse to say, okay, abortion is an option, yes, to stop this problem. Yes, I think there is something deeper in this situation. Yeah, people who are, in the high level of, I don't know how to say that. They want something from us. Yes, and one of the in the agenda in their agenda is to stop this situation, choosing this option to stop
Time.
population growing. Okay, teacher.
Very good. You almost did it. Very good. Melanie.
Hi, good night. And ay, no, está bien lenta la compu, permítame, teacher. The issue of abortion is a very sensitive topic to deal with, but purpose and settlement for women are not saying that men are not affected because I do not think they are exempt from it, but lately it is somewhat common issue for better or worse. There's no one on our perspective. I'm not expert to shoot the life of others. The bad thing here is that not all hosts have the necessary knowledge on this topic, and many things can be corrupt enough not handed with faculty. And my opinion, I think have a neutral vision. Science I do not have the other faculties to judge.
Very good. 3 seconds left. Who else? Volunteers before I start choosing. Don't be afraid of the chronometer. Okay. Fabiola, what do you think about okay, Erika, go, please. Just sit.
All right. Well, when I was listening to you, I was thinking that maybe in America Latin, we need to have a very good sex education. Maybe can help them to prevention the abortion, because I'm not agreed with abortion, but also I'm not agreed that when you give an adoption, and in that institutions, um, they didn't care too much, and and gave them to the jail or the street and everything like that. So so my opinion is that we need a sex education. That's the beginning. That's the maybe high school or
Time. Sorry, sorry. I don't want to be rude. I just want
okay, that's
to
okay.
take. We have in Mexico we have a very good sex education. Unless we want to say not, we have a very good program. We have free gynecological consultation for any woman from 14 to 100 years. We have free programs. We've had contraception programs. If you go to a public hospital, you are going to get contraceptives. We have very good sex education. I think that the problem is that some people actually believe that their kids are still kids. If a girl, a boy is 14, and you, as a parent, well, somebody as a parent decided, okay, this is not for you yet, there are gonna be consequences. Mexico, and I'm talking about Mexico because that's the case I know. I've worked in several programs. Mexico has a very, very high rate of teenage pregnancies. It's alarming the number of 14, 15-year-old girls that are pregnant just because they decided I'm not going to wear a condom. Because we have information, we have internet, and I'm not saying that this is the case in every scenario, but it happens. Okay, Rolando, just a sec. Go.
Yes, teacher. If I accept abortion, it's in just one case, and this is really important. If I know that that teenager or that woman is in danger of death because of the baby, yes, maybe we can accept that option to abort. I mean, yeah, if mom of that girl is gonna die because of that baby, okay, we can make a decision in that case and to accept that the abortion, you know. But I don't agree when I say, "Oh, I am too young to have a baby. I don't want to have a baby." He is not even a baby. He's a small grain of I don't know cell, and I can throw him away. But yes, in that case, I couldn't accept. But if mom is about to die or the
Time.
girl is about to die, yes, I think so.
Good, you're doing better. Very good. Daniel.
Thanks. This time is about sexual education. I think we have information, but about education is not just to have information. It is to have a guide and have the we need to have a context in our family that help us to understand that and understand the consequences. I when I was studying nurturing, it was amazing for me that we have a lot of information. We did have access to contraception, but there was a lot of students that was pregnancy or well, estaban embarazadas. Then I think the problem is that isn't enough with information, but we need education, a real education, not just in the school, but in our community and our houses.
Excellent. Quite coordination with this. Jesus, go ahead.
Taking a little bit more about the point you have, teacher, I think we have the information. We have uh, we have all type of topics to help the people in the hospitals, in the IMSS in Mexico. But I think we need to take more responsibilities about the acts, because sometimes the girls and the boys it's have a youngest age for taking sex life, but they do it. So we need to take more responsibilities about the youngest people trying to have sex uh, and they can take sex, but with the responsibilities. And other people want to have sex, but not all the people want to have the responsibilities. So I think we need to start with that point. Thank you.
Regálame
Very
tus seis
good.
segunditos. I'm
No,
kidding, Teach. I'm kidding.
no, you can go again after Catherine. You can go again. Catherine, go.
Okay, I really agree with Jesus. For me, are much of more excuses for people who don't want kids. My example, me, myself, and I don't want a kid. I never want it. It's not in my plans, but I know how to take care of it. But I also have to acknowledge that have a relationship have the consequences of the possibility of a pregnancy. So if I get pregnant, I have to deal with it and be responsible with the decision I make to have relationship. And also it applies to all the generation and young people and women and men who are sexually open and free. Like doesn't matter. I have a pill to take and nothing happened. Uh, I'd rather to be dead to not suffer in the future. That's something crazy to me.
Very good. Thank you. Orlando, want to go again?
Not teacher. Thanks. I need to think about it.
Okay, so let's move. Hay un micrófono abierto por ahí. Let's move to a different approach of this. Okay, most of you are against abortion. Okay, so would you say that it would be alright to make this a crime in terms that if you abort or are accessory to abortion, let's include men here, your accessory to abortion should be punished legally. For example, let's put a number. If you all of you agree that abortion is equal to murder, so let's say murder, 50 years. In Mexico, 50 years is the top condemned that you can get. Do you agree? Abortion equals 50 years in prison. Mm, Remigio, adelante. Daniel, es que me salen los apellidos primero. Adelante.
No hay problema. I think that just with punishment isn't no. I mean, isn't the best way because when you just punish some conduct, it doesn't mean that it will not follow happen. I think that maybe in that case, an abortion should be another measures, another medidas, ¿cómo serían otras medidas?
Measures.
Another measures, but there it needs to be some punishment, not in the jail, but maybe as a social service or something that helps to young women to say that there are consequences.
Very good. 2 seconds ahead, but yeah. Social working. That could be a thing. Very good. Rolando, do you want to go?
Yes, abortion equals murder. You said that, teacher. I think that is going to depend on the context. Yes, most of people who practice abortion are doctors or people who studied some kind of medicine, and they have the knowledge enough to practice that. And I think depending on the context or the situation of the woman, yes, if that girl says or tells me I need I need to abort because I don't have the age to be mother, for example. Yes, okay, so I will become a murderer because that is not a reason to kill somebody. And if somebody tells me I don't feel well, I think the baby it's killing me, or I don't feel good, I think I'm gonna die, the baby has it's okay, And so, yeah, she needs help. So that is not a murder in that case.
Okay. Who else? Come on, I give you something pretty interesting here. 50 years, or how many years do you think would be appropriate? Catherine, yes.
Yeah, bro. I say this is very tricky have the number of years because I don't know how is the maximum sentence for a murder in different contexts. For me, it's basically the same with some few exceptions. But if you're killing a human being, that's it. So for me, it will be okay because that will increase to people think what they're doing and take more responsibility of their actions and think better about the consequence because everything has a consequence either it's a bad or bad every time you make a decision you have to be ready for that consequence so if it's something that is legal you can have a very strong consequence you're gonna have to protect better so I think it will be a very good choice.
Thank you, Catherine. It sounds like you are in the middle of a storm because of your fan. But yeah, I quite get it. Don't worry. Yes, Jesus.
Yeah, I want to add something because I think one of the principal movements right now trying to approve the abortion is the feminist groups. And I think the feminist groups right now is trying to fight for the wrongest ways. Because I think the woman need to fight for the rights of the work, of the I don't know, of the social uh, I don't know how to say exactly, but the work equalities for all the people, not just for the woman. And I think this woman's trying to fight for the rights of abortion. I think that's not a right. I think I think that's wrong. It's the wrong way to fight like a feminist. I think the feminists can do it better things and better and better ways to fight for other women's with violence or maybe women's try to suffer with for the I don't know how to say it, but
Time.
I lost my time.
Yeah, yeah. That's a very good, an interesting point. Very good. Rika, yes.
For me, it's the same murder than abortions, and I was thinking that the doctors study for to save the life, not to finish the life. So I don't understand why they decided to kill a baby. That's it.
Very good. Give me a sec. Ana Gabriela, yes.
Yes, this is just a little comment about what Amesqua just said before, and I would say that it shouldn't be a right, or it should be forbidden to have the opportunity to abort. But what we do really have is the right to decide about our bodies and what we want for our bodies to go through. Like me thinking as a woman, um, and and that's all. It is a really brief comment about what what he just said before.
Very good. There's a lot of comments about that men should not have an opinion on this topic. I'm going to ignite this a little bit more. Okay, you have a couple, you are in a couple, men and women, and she gets pregnant. Okay, now he doesn't want to have kids, so he decides that if she keeps with the pregnancy, he is not going to support the kid. It's an equal decision, at least some of you mention something like that. So, what do you think? Is he all right, or he should be forced to support the kid? Daniel?
Thanks. In that case, I think first, when you want a relationship, usually you want to be in that with someone that have at the least some point of measure the same values that you have. But if it is the case that you choose someone that don't have these values and these are the situation, uh, I personally will prefer that the baby born and I take all the responsibility if the woman don't want to take part of this. But the ideal would will be that two persons before the relationship uh, agree about issues like that.
Rolando?
Yeah, I think that is part of your education and values. You, as a person, you have to be very careful to make good decisions in your life. And one of the most important decisions in your life is to look for the person, the proper person who is going to be with you all your whole life. And that person is not going to make that kind of decisions to say, "Oh, I am not going to help, I'm not going to support, please. I need you to throw that baby away and or practice abortion." And also for the girl, and the same for the girl and the boy. So what is here the problem? The problem is what kind of person I have chosen to have as how do you say that, to have sex, let's say that. Yes, what kind of person I've chosen. So I need to pay my consequences, but to pay the consequences is not to abort, is to accept my reality and to continue without killing anyone.
Very good, thank you. Who's next? Sorry. Erika.
Yes, I think the problem start there because the people doesn't accept the responsibility for the consequence. And if he decides to have a sex, it's a probably that maybe they have a pregnant or they are pregnant, so they need to, well, in this case he needs to have the responsibility for the consequence. It's not like said, I don't want to support the baby anymore, or I don't. It's the responsibility.
So, in conclusion, Erika, in particular in your point, do you think that men should be forced to support the kid? Would you say that?
I said what?
If you think that men should be forced to
No,
support a kid.
no, I don't think so. It's a force. It's like it's a consequence for the responsibility.
Okay, yeah,
It's
yeah,
not.
I was not clear about it, so that's why I asked. Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Mm, Leonardo?
Okay, I don't think the abortion is just a matter of values because rather it depends a lot of the context because the values
But right,
vary
you're right.
between families, culture, countries, religion, faith. And in the world, there are so many values very different. If we say the abortion is a matter of value, we need to understand the context of every situation, of every country, of every city. It's impossible to determine what is wrong and what is bad. That's why my opinion is I have no real opinion.
Very good. The thing here is that it's something to consider that in countries where they have better economic situations, let's talk about Europe, abortion is legal, and in countries that are underdeveloped, like Africa, in some of Asia and Latin America, abortion is illegal. That's something that I think would spam a lot of debate. Francis, go ahead, please.
In my country, the theme of abortion is a theme of taboo because in the secondary and the university, it's not learning the education sexuality for the students, and they not accept the responsibility for a child and use the alternative abortion for your future. And is seem normal in my country that if you a girl is embarazada, si se embaraza una
Pregnant.
chica, pregnant, eh, she is aborted um, because not uh, have a value values of make responsibility for child, and this is my opinion.
Very good. I'll let you go. Just one sec. Anyone else who wrote talking about context, teacher? Yes, exactly, Rolando. That was precisely my point. But very good. Doesn't matter. Um, any of you happen to have teenage kids?
What was that? What was that, teacher?
If any of you have teenage kids,
Me, me.
sorry, the alarm of some business in front of me just went off. And do you fight with your teenage kid for him or her to do things?
Yes, for me, I discussed with my teenager. Like he is 16, so I I I'm trying to speak with him about these problems like abortion, like drugs, everything like that. I try to be um, a little bit clear.
Yeah. But you misunderstood me here. I was not asking if you talk about these topics with him, but if you fight with him in terms of when you want him to do something, anything not related to this topic, anything, if he says like, okay, I'll do it later, and you say, do it now, I'm telling you to do it. Normal teenage behavior.
Ah, yes,
Yeah, of
yes,
course. And would you say, in your opinion, because you are the mom of a teenager, would you say that he would be at this moment he would be capable or of having a child or being mature enough to have a child?
of course, there are some immature to
Yes,
have a.
yes, he is not capable of that right now, right? So
No,
that's something, and I'm using your comment precisely because you are living that. You know your kid, and you know that he right now he's not capable of doing that, right?
mm,
And there's a lot of people thinking that they are at age 18. They think that we are mature enough to take a decision about what are we going to do for the rest of our lives, to study a career, for example. But we are not. We're not going to be mature at least for a couple of years more. So this is a topic that has a lot of phases that can be discussed. Bien, voy a parar aquí por una cosa. Sí, sí va a haber clase el jueves, Leonardo. De hecho, pero no conmigo. Yo no voy a estar con ustedes desde mañana hasta es 23, 24, 26, hasta el 27 de junio. Sí, va a estar el profesor Arturo, que algunos ya conocen. Es buena onda. Porque yo no voy a andar por este lado un ratito. Entonces, de todas formas, cualquier duda que tengan, voy a seguir pendiente de sus correos, de algún problema que tengan. Digo, el profesor Arturo es muy bueno. Ya, como les digo, algunos ya lo conocen. ¿Va? Are you leaving us? Just for 22 days, Rolando, just for 22 days. After that, you will have me back, if you want. Muy bien. ¿Alguna duda, pregunta, comentario, amenaza, sugerencia?
Where did you go on vacation?
Japan.
A Seattle, a Seattle.
Excellent.
Wow.
Sí. Ese es un viaje que estaba planeando desde antes de la pandemia, pero por cosas que pasan en la vida, hasta apenas lo voy a poder hacer. Entonces sí, voy a estar 22 días allá.
Qué padre.
Y como les digo, de todas formas voy a estar pendiente de cualquier cosa que necesiten. Si tienen alguna duda, ya sea Duolingo, alguien me mandó apenas un currículum para que lo revisara, ese tipo de cosas con todo gusto lo puedo hacer. Entonces, nada más tomen en cuenta que voy a tener 15 horas de diferencia, pero yo les contesto. ¿Va? Sí, porque si me dicen, es que luego me escriben a las 3 de la mañana y se enojan porque no les contesto. Le digo, pues ya no trabajo como velador. Pero muy bien. Muchas gracias, Pablo. Nos vemos en un par de semanas. Que estén muy bien. Tengan excelente semana. Y les repito, cualquier duda estoy pendiente, ¿va? Cuídense mucho. Que
Que
estén
la
muy bien.
pases súper
Ok,
bien.
gracias.
Muchas
Gracias.
gracias. Que estén
Buenísimo.
bien. Bye.
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 Buenísimo.